Take a breath. Feel your heart. What is it saying to you? Today is Free Yourself Friday, and I'm feeling very passionate about this message that I have today. I want to talk about freeing yourself to feel your emotions. So freeing yourself from that idea that it isn't safe to feel your emotions, that being sensitive makes you vulnerable, being sensitive is weak. I want to free you from that idea because that enrages me, frankly. And I have my own story about how I realized that feeling your emotions is strong. So your sensitivity is sacred. It's not too much. Many of us grew up hearing that our emotions were too much, too intense, or too sensitive. And slowly, quietly, we learn to apologize, that enrages me, for the most beautiful part of our humanity, our feeling self, the feminine within us. Today, Free Yourself Friday is about reclaiming her, honoring her, and integrating the masculine energy that knows how to hold her with strength and presence. Because you may not have experienced that in your life, but you can give yourself that experience. And part of it is standing up for yourself. The emotional lie that you've carried. When someone tells you that you're too emotional, what they're really saying is, I don't have the capacity to hold what you feel. Your sensitivity is not a problem, it's a portal. It's your intuitive guidance system, your artistry, your empathy, your ability to love deeply and see beneath the surface. When people tell me that, when people see my emotion and my sensitivity, because I tell people right away, I just want to let you know that I'm a very sensitive person. That doesn't mean that I'm weak. That means I'm actually very strong because I know how to hold my emotions. I know how to care for my emotions. And I know how to move through my emotions. You don't ever need to take care of me if you see me emotional. That's my superpower. That's how I connect to other people. That's how I can relate and connect. And I appreciate that so much in myself. The truth is, you were never too much. You were unreceived. And that is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their limitations. The integration, strong and sensitive. Part of your liberation comes from integrating your inner masculine and feminine so they no longer fight each other. Your feminine feels deeply, senses the unseen, processes emotion intuitively. If you've ever seen a child, they cycle through, a baby, or a young child, they cycle through their emotions really quickly. We can actually do that too. Moves like water, fluid, honest, expressive. Your masculine holds the container, provides structure, boundaries, and groundedness, gives direction to your emotional energy, says, I've got you. Feel fully, I won't abandon you. When they unite, you become both. Soft and powerful, sensitive and sovereign, emotional and unshakably grounded. That is what true emotional freedom feels like. And there are certain people that you will not be able to express that with. They just won't be able to handle it. And you can know that. And I did this the other day because I was feeling that way about a certain person. I started to feel their emotions again because I was very connected to them. And I just walled it off. I put like a white light around me and I said, no, I will not feel your emotions any longer. These are your emotions and they don't need to affect me anymore. Never apologize for sensitivity. Your sensitivity is your superpower. It's your inner compass. It's your connection to your higher self. It's what makes you intuitive, wise, and attuned. When you apologize for your sensitivity, you disconnect from the most sacred part of your spirit. Instead, whisper to yourself, my sensitivity is my strength. My emotions are intelligence. My heart is allowed to feel everything. When you stop apologizing, you give others permission to return to their own hearts too. I remember the very moment that I began to stand up for myself and my emotions. I had always been seen as a very strong person, but that's because I was in my intellect. I used my mind, and people thought that I was strong, but I was actually really weak and scared of my own feelings. It was when I went to graduate school to study marriage and family therapy that I realized how sensitive I was through our Gestalt training program, Gestalt therapy. I realized how sensitive I was, and it scared the hell out of me. And I was like, I need to learn how to take care of this because it's so much who I am, but I need to protect this. And so I learned how to feel my feelings, and I learned how to stand up for myself. And I remember the first time that I did that. I was a therapist at a community service agency, and my supervisor, I was running a youth training program, and I was announcing the youth for an award ceremony, and there was something that I did that she thought was wrong, and I got off the stage after announcing it, and she just started yelling at me in front of all these people. And I had had a really good relationship with her prior to that, and I was just like, it really knocked me off balance. And I held it for a couple of days. I was like, but I was getting really angry and resentful, and I was starting to want to be passive aggressive. I noticed that that was what was coming up in me, and I didn't want to have that kind of relationship or be that kind of person. And so I said, I need to address this with her head on. And so I went into her office and I just said, listen, that was not okay the way that you talked to me. That was really not okay. If you have feedback to give me, you can give it to me in private and I will take your feedback, but not like that. You have no right to talk to me like that. And she said, oh, you're just too sensitive. And I said, excuse me? I'm a therapist. I am supposed to be sensitive. And I will not apologize for that sensitivity. And there is still no reason that you can talk to me like that. That's not okay. And she was like, she backed down and she respected me after that. But it wasn't really about her. It was about me. I needed to respect myself. I needed to stand up for myself and my sensitivity and my feelings and my boundaries. And after I did that, I just felt so good about myself. It gave me more confidence to be able to do that in all different areas of my life. So sometimes it's just that first time getting the confidence to stand up for yourself and use your voice. This world needs us to be sensitive now. That's how we're going to save it. That's how we're going to create a new world where you can be safe to love. And we don't keep repeating this cycle of empaths and narcissists. We need to break this cycle. But we break it through being sensitive and learning how to protect that. So a simple practice for today is just acknowledge what you're feeling. I'm feeling, it could be just a sensation. If you know it's as a feeling, this is what I'm feeling. And I say, just to externalize the feeling a little bit and get a little distance from it so that I'm not overwhelmed by it, I will sometimes say, I feel you. And it's like I'm talking to my inner child. I feel it, or my spirit. I feel you sad. I feel you scared. And I usually put my hand over my heart, but wherever you're feeling, maybe your stomach. I feel you anxious. I feel you nervous. And then validate it if you can. Of course you're feeling that way. That hurt you. Breathe into it and just be with it. Maybe a younger part of you comes up, or an image or a memory, and just respond to it as if it's right there with you, because it is right there with you. Just respond to it. I see you, I feel you, I hear you. I love you. I accept you. And then ask yourself, what do I need to do to care for this? Do I need to speak up for this part? Do I need to set boundaries? Do I need to just be with it and feel that feeling? How can I nurture and ground this feeling? Last night I was just breathing. I was watching a show and it was making me really sensitive, and I was just putting my hand over my heart and my stomach and just breathing and just staying with myself. Sometimes that's all you need. And it moves. Just knowing that you're not going to abandon it. It is like your inner child and your spirit. Just knowing that, it starts to feel safe in you. You create that safety within yourself. And when you can do that just by being you with other people, and you spread that in the world. And that is so important right now. When you embrace both the strength of your masculine and the sensitivity of your feminine, you become emotionally sovereign, unshakable. You stop shrinking, you stop apologizing, you stop contorting yourself into digestible pieces. You become more whole. You become whole. You are already whole, but you recognize your own wholeness. You recognize your strength with your vulnerability. And you realize how much power you truly have. You allow yourself to be whole, and you allow yourself to express. That's the most beautiful part, is when you begin to express that in the world. And that is freedom. So ask yourself, where in my life do I still apologize, silently or out loud, for my sensitivity? And what part of me is ready to stop doing that? If my emotions were a young part of me asking me to be seen, what would she need from my inner masculine to feel safe, held, and unapologetically expressed? And what does it feel like in my body when I give myself full permission to be sensitive? So I noticed it the other day with my son when he was sharing something with me, and I teared up. And he did what his dad would do to me. He was like, "Oh my God, you're getting all emotional and sensitive." And I was like, "What? Do you think that you have to take care of me? Or what is wrong with that? I may be sensitive, but I'm also strong, and you don't need to take care of my feelings. I'm really good at that. My sensitivity is my strength." And he calmed down, and he was like kind of surprised, but it calmed him down too. This is our superpower, and we need to spread it in the world. Who's with me?